everybody, it's Christina from Redefine Creative, and I am here to take on Laura Albert's Double Dare You challenge for this month, where she was mixing a bunch of different styles of text to make her title. And so she was doing that with things like chipboard and stickers and letters. I'm going to do this with some cut aparts. So within the last month or so, we have started doing these twice a week Zoom calls in the Secret Not Secret Kit Club members only group. And while I'm on those calls, I'm trying to find little creative things that I can do while I'm talking and interacting with everybody. And so something that I did was I went ahead and took a bunch of these pattern papers and pieces from the cut apart sheet that came in Heidi Swap's Art Walk collection. And I cut them all up into different size pieces, and I used my notebook edge stamp to do some notebook punching on some of them. And it was just something that I could do fussy cutting, sitting there talking with all the ladies, that would end up kind of speeding up or allowing me to create a layout. And so this is going to be the layout that goes with all those things that I cut apart. So I'm taking this floral kind of tile stencil, and I'm using some ink. So I used the ink through the stencil to make kind of this tile-y background. And then I'm also going to go ahead and I took my, man, words are hard today. I took my blender tool brush and just brushed some color over the top to give it kind of more of a layered distressed look. And then I did the same thing around the edge of the page. And it's a little bit brighter blue than I was planning on, but this is the stone blue from Catherine Pooler. And it ends up working really well with this particular layout because there are a lot of shades of blue in the cards and things that I want to use. So I'm just kind of laying out where I'm anticipating all of these cards are going to kind of layer up. And so I'm making it into this, I don't know, kind of like a layered grid almost. But I felt like I needed some extra little inking over here on this outside edge. So I went back and just added a little bit of that to my background. And that's kind of the benefit of not gluing anything down yet, is I can go back and add just a little bit more of that ink work if I need to. And so now I'm going to go ahead and start layering up all of these pieces. So I have some of the pattern paper, and these just came out of this 6x8 paper pad that I have combined with this one cut apart sheet. And that's where I'm going to get some of my text from. So this is kind of a fun way to build your title. I don't need any thickers. I don't need letters. I'm just going to use kind of the phrases that are given to me in the pack to create my title. And I'm going to show you how I kind of nestle things in around those to create a cohesive look. So for right now, all I'm doing is layering up those patterns. And there's really no rhyme or reason except that I knew that I wanted all of these elements to kind of be towards the center of the layout on just a touch of a diagonal. And that's not a very great description or design rationale for what I'm doing, but I just kind of knew in my head that's where I wanted things to go. And I have 3 pictures that I want to get on this layout because every time I ask you guys on Facebook, you always say we want to see more multi-photo layouts. So I have these 3 pictures, and I had trimmed them for a different project a long time ago and then ended up switching out the pictures I was using. So they're kind of random sizes, but they're already pre-cut this way. So I'm going to use them as they are. And I'm going to put them on some foam adhesive to help them stand up because I do have a lot going on in the background. I love all the colors. I love how it's coming together, but it is busy in the background. So having that foam behind my pictures kind of helps. And then I was going to put this one of Just Parker up by that top phrase, but I decided to nestle it in instead. And so while I'm placing those photos, I was trying to be really strategic. So that little photo of Parker that sits in with the Live in the Moment card, I kind of nestled it right in there after the word the. So I called the title for this layout Enjoy the Now because that's kind of the biggest text space. But Live in the Moment could definitely also be a title or a subtitle. So I'm also going through this little basket that I keep on my desk of all these little pieces I have fussy cut. And there's a bunch of little tickets and tags and that kind of thing in there. So I'm just adding a few of these little ticket spots that I already had cut out, and I'm just layering them in behind my photos. So I don't want to move too far away from the kind of boxy grid that I have going on. But I do want to add a little bit of extra texture and dimension to everything. So I'm going to get those kind of pieced in there as well. And then I am going to add some additional layers to my text as I continue going. So something I love about working with these cut apart sheets is it kind of gives me a starting place to build my embellishment clusters. So it's making it very obvious where I want all of these things to go. And so now I'm going to grab a bunch of these florals from Never Grow Up, and I'm going to create just a couple of embellishment clusters. So as I'm flipping through, I want some of the leaves that have some color to them. And then I'm going to pull out like the red flowers I don't necessarily want because there's no other red in this particular layout. But like the yellow and the turquoise and the pink, I'm going to pull out way more than what I actually end up using. But I do want to create some clusters with those. So I'm just going to go ahead and start kind of tucking them in where I think I want them to go, or where they kind of make sense with where all of my layers already are falling. And that dark green area up above that bigger picture is going to stay basically blank, so I can have some of the flowers extend up there because it's not going to take away from anything. And then I also know that on this orange card down at the bottom is where I'm going to include my journaling. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't cover up too much of that with the floral elements as I'm going. And I am going to add a little bit of foam behind this one so that it stands up a little bit, kind of overlapping that edge. But these are some seriously old pictures, you guys. Like, that's Parker there, the little boy in those pictures. And he's 13 now. And these girls are, Faith is the older one and Ashley is the younger one. And they are the girls of one of my good friends. And so when Parker was little, he was just like a star attraction for them. Like, they just could not wait to have him come over and have play dates and hang out with them. And they just thought that he was wonderful. And he loved it. Like, he soaked up the attention of having all these little girls doting on him. Even though his face in the picture does not really say that. It looks more like, oh my goodness, what are you doing to me? But he did. He absolutely loved hanging out with them and having these kind of spontaneous fun play days. All right, so I've gone ahead and grabbed some Paige Evans. These are puffy stickers from the new Go the Scenic Route collection, and I'm adding a few of those. I was going to go with this Play a Little Every Day on that orange card, but then I decided it was taking up too much of the space, knowing that I wanted to put some of the journaling down there. So I go ahead and just add some of the hearts to each one of my kind of embellishment areas that I have going on. And then I went ahead and went back and pulled out the Horizon sticker sheet, and this was another Paige Evans collection. And it has this word together, and I thought that that just worked perfectly with the text that's already in that card to just enhance the feel of the layout. So now instead of saying it's just live in the moment, it's more like live in the moment together. Like, hang out, have fun together, enjoy the moment. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. So that together word just kind of added, I don't know, just a little something. So I'm playing around with some more of the little hearts that came on this particular sticker sheet and seeing if I can get some of those nestled into my clusters as well. I'm not going to need a whole ton of embellishment. And you guys hear me say this all the time. But I really, really love playing with pattern paper and layers and creating all of that dimension with kind of inking or stamping and pattern paper. And so then when I get to the embellishments, I feel like I don't need a ton. So I've got my florals, I've got some puffy stickers, but really I don't need a ton of extra. And that is totally fine because I love the look it creates when you use a ton of different pattern papers together. And I really like how all of these ended up kind of layering together. I am going to take my Spiegel Mom Scrap sequins as my final step, which it often is. And these are the Touch of Sun sequins, which have not sold out. But let me tell you guys, this particular sequin mix that my friend Christy designed literally matches everything. Like, I have used this one so much. So there's a link down below to this one. There's a coupon code down there. But don't overlook Touch of Sun, because just because it's got like the yellows and the blues, I'm telling you, it goes with so many of the summer and fall collections, and it really adds that pop of color. Like, I just love having the sequins in my 3 embellishment clusters on this particular layout. And I went a little like heavier than I usually would, which I really like with the mixed media and the florals. So sometimes you just got to use all the sequins, guys, not just a little scattering. You just got to put a bunch on there and just kind of let them randomly fall. So that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully you liked seeing my take on Laura's challenge to combine and layer up some different text features. And I hope you will play along with this one as well. Make sure you check out her channel to see what she did for my challenge, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.